Hi there, Mike Perez with Mastering the Young Band and MikePerezBand.com. This video is going to talk about my concert B flat, F, and E flat exercises pages out of my Essential Foundations Supplemental Warm Up and Technique book. These are really the first technique pages for the beginning band. I've written them specifically for beginning band to help them get a lot of repetition and develop technique from note to note especially. So what you'll see on these pages is they usually start in the middle of the scale. So for instance, concert B flat will start on concert F, and then it'll go between concert F and E flat. Then it'll go between E flat and D. So there's a lot of note to note repetition in these exercises. It'll go from 2-note back to back for an entire exercise, then it'll go to 3-note, then it'll work on the next 2 notes, then build it to 5, and so on. So this is really beginning band technique at its best to get your students a lot of repetition going between notes. You will see in the different keys, there's obviously different ranges, so you want to make sure, obviously concert B flat is the best overall to start with the exception of clarinet. Clarinets, it's really best if you have clarinets only in a class to start as you expand to a full octave range to go from low G to G. However, if you're in a woodwinds class or if you're in a full band, beginning band class, you're going to still want to start in the concert B flat exercises pages, but what you'll see is the clarinets I've written in octaves so they can work on the lower octave because you certainly don't want beginner clarinets going to their upper B and upper C because of the register key. So these exercises, I recommend you start with concert B flat after your students can play the first 5 notes set 2, the first warm-up set 2, and as I mentioned just a moment ago, that they have a 1 octave range with the exception of clarinets. So that's the best time to start these pages, and it really reinforces and builds technique for their first 5 notes and then expanding into the 1 range. The other great thing about these pages, as I just said, is range. You're going to help to build your students' range down low or up high, just depending on where you are in the year. And you'll notice at the last 3 lines of each set actually have scalar exercises where they're actually playing a major scale where they start on the top note, they work their way down, then they work their way back up. At the bottom of each set is a full range major scale. So this is their first touch at playing a real major scale. So these exercise pages, it really is best to think of them as technique for the beginning band, and they're great to use throughout the year just to get your students developing more finger technique at a level that's appropriate for their development. So that's how I use the concert B flat, F, and E flat exercises pages. You just want to make sure that you are using them at a time of year that's appropriate. I don't recommend you use these pages to teach new notes. Rather, these should be used to reinforce notes that students already know.